Material Girl.
Five Nights at Freddy's. That's where I wanna be. Five Nights at Freddy's. Huh? Huh? Huh?
Hi, chat. Hi, chat. It's me. It's Rune. Can you DM me the photo? Yes, my DMs are open. Welcome in. We were supposed to do art yesterday, and we were supposed to do this the day before yesterday, and then today we were supposed to do art because I rescheduled, and now we're doing Growing My Grandpa. I'm employed now, and it's my first big boy job, and it's very fancy. I'm a Rune in STEM now. And it's full time, so I don't know how streaming is gonna work with that, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, huge news. I'm this month's top clipper in my channel. Huge news, guys. Huge news. Perfect. Okay, hold on. I'll take a quick looky-loo before we get started with growing Grandpa. Perfect. Amazing, even. That's a good shirt. That's a funny shirt. Hey, yo! 3-stream streak.
I just needed you to know.
Yo!
I love you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. It's been so long. It's been so long. So long. 16 months. That's crazy. That's over a year. That's a year and a half, I think. Oops. Thank you so much for the subscription. Gaming. It's horror game time. This game is a body horror game, and there's a slight photosensitivity warning. So, take care of yourselves. We're growing a Grandpa. Chat, do we want to view the tutorial or do we want to go in completely blind? What do you think? We're going in blind. We don't need a tutorial. Or we don't need it. Week 1. I excused Adrian during music class today and spoke with her about her recent string of demerits. It was our first time meeting outside of our quarterly evaluations, and I believe it went well. I can certainly understand Mrs. Richardson's classroom observations concerning Adrian's emotional state. She was, of course, intensely shy when we first met. As I understand it, she is similarly withdrawn in her classroom activities, and only speaks or acts when she absolutely must. Can we make the pot purple with cute, like, cat faces? I think Grandpa would love that. Some things she simply will not do. Instead of participating in mandatory group activities, she will sit alone and accept that she will receive a demerit. Before the meeting, I read Mrs. Richardson's... Is that Miss or Mrs.? I never know. I just used to call... I just used to, like, skip the front, and I used to just say the last name. Richardson's parent-teacher report, which allowed me to estimate some about Adrian's home life. Mrs. Okay. Think I'm a little tired? Eep. Have a nap. The parents are well educated and come from a prestigious background, but they lack time to properly nurture Adrian. She is often alone. She is often alone, and when she is not, the parents seem to not understand the importance of warmth and affirmation when dealing with someone so young. You want to help grow Papa? Okay. You can help a little. Having two parents of this reserved and icy temperament exacts an inhibition in a child. The child's imagination is subdued, but only ostensibly, for it eventually finds its way into regular life. I surmised that I would be able to reach out to Adrian by way of make-believe. Hi, Adrian. How are you liking your new house? You've told me you used to live close by. Whoa, I read that really weird. You told me you used to live close by, but it still can be a big adjustment. A new room, a new school. The basement. I like that. Weird place for, what are you, 6-year-old? The basement? Yeah, well, there's a lot of cool stuff. Mom and Dad sent me down there. Your mom and dad made you go? Yeah, but there's lots of cool stuff. Well, that's not why they sent me down there, though. Why did they send you down there? Fighting. They were fighting, shouting. I came in to help and they shouted at me. They said, go clean up downstairs. So, I went. That sounds tough. Do they fight a lot? Bye, Lobo. Enjoy your lurk. No. Well, they, It's alright, Adrian. Maybe you can tell me more about the basement instead. Okay, well, it was weird at first, the stuff down there. But cool. I found something living. Sort of. That's very interesting, Adrian. Please tell me more. By indulging her in her fantasies and stories, I was able to glean more of an understanding of Adrian's anxiety surrounding her home and her parents. The symbols of Adrian's story seem to carry their own traumatic weight, and her exploration of the basement may very well be a vehicle for the conveyance of her anxiety. Whatever might come of our next meeting, whether she will engage in similar make-believe, I will set down her story here. Adrian's story begins with her delving into the basement with a trash receptacle and the goal of cleaning up. She discovered one of the walls was covered in plastic bags. She went to investigate, intent on tearing away whatever they covered. Alright. Trash bags. Oh. Oh. Yeah, and then there. Great. Upon removing the plastic trash bags from the wall, she noticed their interior lining was covered in glass. Oh no, I have those. I don't tend to put them on for horror games because I feel like it's more immersive. But yes, I do usually have them. Oh no, I already read that one. Like a window, I offered. No, she said, like a mirror. Reflecting inward towards the animal they covered, I gently asked her what exactly this animal was. Here's where the material reality of the story took a turn for the explicitly fantastic and imaginary. Oh, what the fuck is that? Is that Grandpa? Upon her discovery of it, at her gaze, it grew, or extended, its shaggy-haired self. Hair like the fur of a dog, I offered. No, she said. Not the fur of a dog, nor the hair on her head. It grew out towards her, the animal's hair. Reaching out, it was hard, standing almost straight, like the hair on a brush. A bristle, I offered. Yes, she said. She was very afraid at first, but then very curious. I asked her what else was in the room. More things hidden away, she said. Things of Grandpa's as well. First she found a hidden passage under the stairs. Inside were strange dolls, magic objects, naked, faceless figures. I heard these cryptic utterances and merely nodded. In order to keep the game of make-believe going, I only pressed for details where I thought necessary. The faceless dolls could be a simple metaphor for the anonymity she feels in her own home. The hidden passage, I am unsure of what to make of that. The revealing of the concealed seems to be thematic in her fantasy. The door under the stairs is but one example. Point. Grab. Okay. Yeah, that sure is question mark, ain't it? The darkness of the shadowy corner unnerves you. You cannot explore here without some form of light. Okay, under stairs. A new trash pile. Okay, nothing for us. Boop. Boop. Once she removed the panel and found the magical hidden passage, she was very specific about what she took. She found a magic book, a magic doll, a photo of her late grandpa, and magic glue. I don't want to take the doll. Search the closet. put the... Is that the picture? Take the picture. A photo of your late grandfather. I want to read it. Mr. PhD. On the reverse side of the photograph, there's more text. Good luck on your trip to the Urals. Stay warm. Glue. All-purpose glue. Papers crudely bound together to form a book. The impetus of this research was the recognition of a particular pattern in fragments of documents relating to magic and magico-religious practices. Numerous sources were drawn from: commentaries on laws relating to the banning of sorcery and necromancy, compilations of folk charms relating to love spells, hagiographs of saints and their encounters with the devils. With devils, not the devils. The list spans many centuries and a great distance, from the Levant to the Khazar. I can't. I am not in the state of mind to pronounce hard words for me. To the border of the modern nation states of Russia and Kazakhstan today. From this paper trail arose a consistent account about a certain form of magic relating to the binding of demons to a sorcerer's will. A demon, called the Heaven of Needles, or the Angel of Needles, was known to be kept best by shamanic keepers or wards who suffer from face blindness, prosopagnosia.
Freddy, you're supposed to be on lockdown.
Vanessa. He told me that the life of my dreams would be promised and someday be mine.
He's such a lovely singer. Such a lovely voice. Whether by birth or through developmental causes like a stroke or a head injury. It was known to be extremely effective but terribly dangerous, so much so that it became outlawed several times and was generally a popular scapegoat relating to unexpected death. Freddy is such a Disney princess, you're right. The nexus of magico-religious meaning-making, sorcery regarding human-related desires, and the history of science of neurological disorders related to the... I don't know what that is. Fusiform gyrus is where the subject of this dissertation will reside. I will outline further and then analyze the historical sources I mentioned previously. Then I will go into the neurology of mystic and magico-religious experiences. After that, I will detail my ongoing correspondence with a resident of the Ural Mountain region who is an expert folklorist and keeper of traditions. He claims have been passed down through his extended family for generations. Alright. Let's take the doll. Oh, jeez, I don't want that. A slouching doll. Its material is rough and coarse. I interrupted to ask what she did with these magical, mysterious materials. Grow Grandpa, she explained plainly, and then, without missing a beat, she continued on with her story. Feeling this was a potent symbol, I stopped her again to ask what she meant. Somewhat puzzled, I did not understand immediately. She explained slowly. Grandpa lives in the cage in the other room, the cage behind the door. They grew people in the cage. Door. Ooh, more papers. A hastily written note. I have repeatedly called your homes to no avail, and so I am forced to leave this here for you all. I found William sitting in the corner of the enclosure area, seeming severely concussed. Whiskers was gone, in none of its usual hiding places. I immediately suspected the worst. The project thus must be suspended for now. I am leaving up the usual mirrored coverings we use to keep the anthropoidic void sealed. I have done my best to lock up everything on such short notice. It is a hasty fix, but it will require some time to find a more permanent remedy. I am honestly hoping you do not find this note, as I intend to lock the house down too. I intend to race off to you to retrieve your lockbox keys. Do not worry about William's key. It and the rest of his equipment is almost certainly deep within Whiskers now. I pray you do not enter this room, no matter how it may appear. William cannot be helped, and is only being kept alive as a means of continuing predation on the rest of us. I will say once again, no matter what state you may encounter William in, he cannot be helped. I have sympathy for the young man, I truly do, but I found on his person several photos of his late sister, which would imply certain risks he knew he was taking. Our extant research materials have now become possible liabilities, either criminal or professional in nature, so I have stashed them away. I believe I let you all know how I might do this if we were ever to experience an event such as this. I hope you all remember what I told you. So long then, Dr. H. Your ceiling's sharp, it just cut your finger? Why is it that sharp? Is it like a popcorn ceiling? Alright, what's this? A note on experiment 1 of 4. No. No. No, wait. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't read it. Oh, ouchie. I didn't read that one. That's sad. A note on an experiment. Okay, it was 1 of 4, so it was probably really boring. This is 2 of 4. 5, I think? 4? What is that? That's 4. I think. The sample's exposure to some of our neuronal activity is unavoidable. However, the speed at which its desirous yield is produced can be dampened by several precautions regarding libidinal and emotional urges. Keep conversation not related to lab work to a minimum. Okay. If you begin to suspect you are developing attachments to your colleagues, contact me as soon as possible. Okay. A note on experiment 3 to 4. Ritual behavior with the sample, trading, bargaining, will result in dismissal from the project. Ooh. Hello! Oh my goodness. Hi gamers! Hi Bits! Hi! Hi Squeak Mouse! Hi AJ! Welcome in, guys! How was Servant of the Lake? How was that? Hi, I was Bibliomaniac. Welcome in. Candygram, Candygram. That's so cool. That's so hype. Hi, Grim. Ow. Thank you so much for the follow, Grim. Good, getting creepy. I'm excited. Ooh, that's so exciting. I haven't heard of the series before, but I'm getting pretty interested in it. You love Servant of the Lake? Ooh, okay. If you don't know me, my name's String of Rune. You can call me Rune. I am a Celestial Forest VTuber, and I play a lot of horror games and Five Nights at Freddy's and Overwatch. We are playing Growing My Grandpa. It is a horror game. It is a body horror, and it has photosensitivity warning, so take care of yourself. We just got in, so we just started. We are a therapist, I think, some sort of therapist or like child care guy, and we're interviewing this little girl, and she is talking about how she's growing her grandpa, and we're like, oh haha, imagination is so whimsical. All right. Ritual behavior with the sample, trading, bargaining, will result in dismissal from the project. The precise mechanism of the exchange of symbols and gifts required for a requested desirous yield is not known, and even then anecdotal accounts of success are illegible and in violent death. Played this one before, I loved it. Love all the devs' work. I'm not sure what else they've made, but I remember watching Markiplier play this when it first came out, and it was very exciting to me. Alright, let's go in. Beyond the door in the room, the cage was hidden, concealed in another cloak of inward-facing mirrors. Take them off. Take off the mirrors, it's worth it. Bunch of cool existential horror stuff. Let's go. A hidden cage lined with mirrors. It is strange, almost poetic. The elaborate fantasy of self-reflection, concealment, captivity. Alright, let's take the tarp off. If I could see anything, I would certainly be able to aim. Discovered my body. Right, yes. I remember he spoke really highly of it, but I don't think I've watched the video. I did not read that part, but it was confusing, she confided at first. She took the magic doll, the magic glue, and the photo of her grandpa, and she combined them, and she wished very hard. I can only assume in this fantasy that next her wish would come true. In what child's story would it not? Alright. Glue. Glue. Grandpa. Doll. Glue. That sure is Grandpa. Tangible symbol of intention and desire. She put Grandpa in the cage, assuming that was part of the ritual. She was not clear on how it worked. What precise instructions she could glean from her grandfather's magic book was complicated by her reading comprehension. She wished with all her heart, and then she told me she waited a while for something, anything to happen. And after that time, she began to cry. I cried really hard, she said. I wanted Grandpa to be back. I wanted my parents to stop being so mean. And it hurt me. It heard me wish for Grandpa to come back, for my parents to be different. I could feel it through the walls, and it felt me through the air. I asked her what exactly she meant. She could only repeat what she said. By this time, lunch was almost over. I said goodbye to Adrian, and she left to rejoin her class. I was left to consider our conversation. I believe the storytelling strategy I have employed was not unfruitful, but I must probe deeper if I can. Although I can be sure of nothing I interpret, the impressions I get may begin to help me get an idea of the right questions to ask. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to certain topics or keywords you can discuss with Grandpa. Whoa! This is just like the Obsession movie. You've also gained the following keyword. Shell. Consider discussing this when Grandpa emerges. Scratch growing my grandpa. We're gonna grow Nikki. No, it would be more like growing the One Wish Willow, I guess. Because she was just a normal gal. I met again with Adrian in order to address her emotional outbursts in the past few weeks. It is our second time meeting, and while it is standard practice to have multiple sessions with a troubled student, as I assemble a report for the counseling department, I could not help but think, as we sat down in my office, that Adrian already seemed to show a remarkable change in self-esteem and confidence, and perhaps my and Mrs. Richardson's estimation of her was emotionally disturbed was erroneous. Too Evie, gotta go to bed. Bye, person. Have a good night. Don't worry, I'll tell Grandpa all about you. The paralyzing shyness and withdrawn attitude Adrian possessed last week was not entirely diminished, but she seemed to hold herself differently this week. However, this only lasted as long as our conversation pertained to initial introductory pleasantries. When I began once again asking about her parents, her feelings regarding her new school and her new home, she quickly lost what new confidence she had gathered up and withdrew again into herself. So, once again, I partook in some collaborative make-believe, but this time I was aided by the fact that I had managed to do some research into Adrian's grandfather, and I had some insight into what she might actually be finding in the basement. Now, this may be overstepping my bounds some as a school counseling caseworker, but this was all in the service of making Adrian comfortable and happy in this learning environment. Bro's just role-playing. In any case, I was able to dig up information regarding the grandfather by inquiring at the university in town. Not that I make a habit of sleuthing, but I had a suspicion the grandfather was a professor there. or at least some sort of researcher, due to the fact that the newly constructed laboratory on the campus I drive by every day bears his name and memorial. He was some sort of anthropologist, or linguist, or neuroscientist. Those are all vastly different things, like insanely different things. I did not have to dig that deep before the scope of his work became dizzying, and I ran up against the limits of my undergraduate education. But back to the make-believe. What is your grandpa like? Is he a smart man? Not anymore, but I'm teaching him. So he's grown a good deal then. You have been feeding him well? Yeah, he's getting bigger, but he has a lot of room in his cage. He's still behind the bars? Yeah, well, he might be able to climb out eventually. There's this vent in the ceiling. Well, perhaps if he climbs out, I could meet him someday. Yeah, maybe, but he's not ready to leave. He can't take care of himself. I have to feed him, pick up after him. Ah, you store the food in your lunchbox? That's nice of you to share. He can almost talk. You cannot speak with him? He doesn't have a mouth, sort of. But how do you feed him? He has a mouth on the inside, on his shell, or the stuff that's his skin. I'm a little confused. Maybe you can go through a typical day with your grandpa? Okay. I asked her to explain how exactly she goes about growing her grandpa, and Adrian began another tale. According to Adrian, in the week that had passed, much had changed in the basement. Let's see what's changed. What's over here? Examine. The hairy thing that was here before is gone. What's in here? My lunchbox. I got glue. Nothing to glue. Alright. We're not going in there yet. You should see Grandpa first. Okay, fine. Maybe we are. Wait. Was there another paper that I didn't read? There was. Hold up. Read. Regarding growth cycles, every time Whiskers regenerates and leaves dormancy, it is to be logged as a new propagation. The sample's bodily existence cannot be illegible, i.e., a part cannot be cut from the whole, so there can only be one living propagation. Propagations are to be terminated after 5 weeks. Any further development puts us at risk. Termination procedures will be posted and followed with extreme care. With all that out of the way, I want to welcome you to the project. I look forward to working with ya. Dr. Hart. I'm so excited because I have 3 drinks on my desk. I have a Timmy's iced coffee because it was an accident and my uncle didn't want it, so I got it. And I have a French vanilla from Timmy's, and I have water, and I'm living my best version of my life. Alright. Grandpa! Ooh, I'm scared. Hi, mouse. Hi! Hi, Mousy. Oh my gosh, I love you, Mouse. I'm growing my grandpa. Tricky Mouse. Thank you, Mouse. It's a it's a customizable model. I have the person who made it is in my panels, but it's customizable. And it was like $30 Canadian, so yee. Thank you, Mouse. I'm so excited. I'm a rune that's in STEM now. I work with microscopes, and I'm very excited. I get to finally put my art hand dexterity to use. Hi, Raiders. Hi, Kinley. Hi, Heartthrob. Hello, hello. If you don't know me, my name's Rune. I am a Celestial Forest VTuber. I play a lot of horror games, and yeah. And also for everyone, just if you haven't looked at the tags, I just want y'all to feel safe here. The AI shit that Twitch put up is turned off, so no AI. AI should die. Anyway, We're playing Growing My Grandpa, where we are growing Grandpa. Growing Grandpa. It is so cool. I'm so excited. I'm a little scared that I won't have the energy to stream because it's full-time, and I've never worked a full-time job before. But it seems good. It seems like a job that'll make me happy, so I'm curious how that's gonna work with streaming and also with commissions. Yeah, literally, it's so fucked up. It's so fucked up and so suspicious. Like, if they're doing that, what other things are they planning? And what other things have they done that we've just haven't noticed, you know? What are they getting away with? Fuck corporations. Everyone should go back to bartering and no ads and all that. Lamau. That's so funny. That sucks ass. We are growing Grandpa. This game, by the way, for people who are coming in from the raid, it is a body horror game, and there is photosensitivity warning. So, take care of yourself. I'm gonna get some rest. I love you too, Mouse. I love you too. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. I will have fun growing Grandpa, and I hope you have a good after stream rest and sleep and drink water. And I appreciate you. Alright, gamers. Let's wake up Grandpa. It was scary at first, she said. The way he moved, the way the doll's skin covered him. I wanted to interject. This somehow seemed inappropriate, but I kept listening. When I look at him, she continued, when I think about him, he grows and moves. It's like he is growing for me. So he's growing bigger now, I asked. Yes, she said. Bigger every day. Hi, Grandpa. Yeah, that's pretty normal looking. This begins the actual growing part of growing your grandpa. Beneath the doll's burlap skin, the follicles knit together what resembles a proper person. Your grandpa. You are in charge of its cognitive development and diet until it is able to sustain itself. Currently, you are observing Grandpa. Please click the arrow back button below for a brief tutorial of your duties as caretaker. Alright, teach me how to take care of Grandpa. Here we can see a variety of options regarding growing your grandpa. Highlighted in red are objectives related to feeding and teaching Grandpa. Hi, Grandpa. Hi. Hi, Grandpa. Important messages regarding Grandpa's recent activity will also appear here. You will need to find it food and learning material before you can move on to the next week. Some foods will make Grandpa happy, others merely content. Some food will make Grandpa disgusted to the point of nausea. Learning material is also scattered throughout the basement. Seek out vocabulary cards intended to help teach English and basic anthropoidic concept formation. The options highlighted in red are related to navigating around Grandpa's enclosure. The Go to Grandpa option will let you perform all actions directly related to Grandpa, feeding, teaching, observing, etc. Accessing the study corner will let you go over any documents you pick up as the weeks go by. It's a good idea to learn about the work of the people who last occupied the space. Accessing the kitchen will let you search for food in the old refrigerator and prepare food for Grandpa if need be. Help. Save game. You can only save one file at a time. And exit game takes you to the main menu. More buttons may or may not appear depending on your development of Grandpa, so watch out for them. One final note, take care to explore the basement at your leisure. However, due to the entropic nature of clutter and trash, different weeks may allow you to find things you had previously not discovered. Oh, well, yeah. Good luck. I'm so ready. Yeah. Hi, Lobo. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was So interesting. That was so interesting. Welcome. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway. Alright. I can't. Yeah, no. That was I'm assuming the hairy thing is Grandpa.
Hydrate, you bastard! Hydrate!
Thank you for the hydrate. I will drink a sip of all 3 of my drinks. Yummy. Double yummy. Triple yummy. Alright, perfect. Trash pile. We're gonna ignore the other thing. Ooh, what's that? Yoink. Corroded battery. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. Chill. Sometimes Grandpa just eats a battery. It's no big deal. A note! Oh, it's a password? Oh no, it's hello. Vocabulary card hello. Teach Grandpa this word to read the notes of past educators. Cool. That's it. Alright, what about the bulbous growth? Something appears to be growing from the wall. You take a closer look. Yep, normal thing to see in a basement. A pulsating sac. The slimy membrane that is its skin seems to contain something. It might be able to be opened with a blade. Cool. No, it's still too dark. Okay. Cabinet. Examine. Slouching under the weight of rot and refuse. Is it the same every time? Yeah. Cabinet. La la. There's so much weird stuff in here. I'll clean this space, will not be dirty again until next week. Blueberries. Oh, I love blueberries. Cut out face. Interesting. All clean, we got paper. An account of an acquisition. Read now. Before we begin, he had us all cover our faces completely. An earthenware pot was illegible, and on the inside, as we stole brief glances at it, we could see the interior was inlaid with mirrors. The illegible gave it small pieces of dough, spoiled food, chicken feed, illegible, keeping it content. The keeper gestured towards the small bag where the food composted and told us to be careful not to feed it any meat. I asked if the rotting food was enough to sustain it, how it might get nutrients from any of this. The keeper regarded me seriously and said it did not matter what it was fed. The act of feeding it itself is what mattered. The act of feeding flesh is another act, however. He then gave me another series of grave warnings regarding not keeping any animal-derived foods anywhere near where anywhere near where I might be keeping it. Cool. Don't feed it meat. Gotcha. It's cool. I don't have a key, so can't do anything with that. Trash pile. Examine. Something about the painting looks strange. Hee. Yoink. A folder full of radiographic images. You can examine this in detail later at the study. Okay. Anything else? No. Trash pile. Dirty. Ooh, what's that? Fiberglass insulation. Grandpa might eat it. I don't think that's a good thing for Grandpa to eat. I'd be so for real with you. Examine. The waste here smells strong. Alright, grab that trash. Doll. Paper doll. A simple paper doll. This might be useful in the construction of magic symbols. Yummy insulation. The crunch is the good part. Don't worry about the pain that follows. All clean. Cool. That's it. Okay. Grandpa. Hi, Grandpa. Alright, let's go to the study. Medical imagining device. You slip the radiographic images you found onto the machine's display. Power. Ooh. Propagation. Number 21. Good night, Bits. Thank you so much for the raid again. I hope you have a good rest. Day 19 after dormancy. Nth vacuum broken. Yes. Term at 21 days. Intriguing results with regard to the mimic hypothesis. A participant entered a sealed chamber adjacent to Whiskers, which had been freed from the anthropoidic vacuum. Constructed quite economically from plastic and broken mirrors. The first propagation's original earthenware vacuum was shattered during the move-in. Between the two, there was a semi-opaque glass panel that allowed observation both ways. The human participant was asked to think of someone in the popular consciousness, fictional or no, and cogitate on their image, personality, face if possible, voice if possible, etc. Our participant chose Jesus of Nazareth, wonderful choice, and with weekly repeated exposure to the participant's imaginings, propagation number 21 began forming what resembled an anthropoid Nazarene in the fold of its spines. Cool. Previous human-oriented tests have always bore out a result that Whiskers would form an anthropod team member, be it me or Dr. Hart or Gerald, and we assumed it was merely mimicking one of us. Dr. Hart has always contended the desirous yield, or the anthropoid reproduction Whiskers creates when in contact with human beings, has always been based in the conception and relation to the person through someone else. With this framework, the desirous yield is not actually a replica of a person, or if it is only a replica of the fiction of a person generated in the mind of another. Alright, then this grandpa that we're building is going to be perfect, because who to think better of a grandfather than the grandchild? This desirous yield was not Jesus Christ, but the participants' image of Jesus, assembled from their religious upbringing, religious artwork, depictions in popular culture, etc. This radiograph was taken right before the destruction of the growth cycle, while Whiskers was rendered unconscious via fumigation. Seems like with every successive propagation, the stem cells in the organism work a little faster, but I'm not paranoid. It's technically deathless, yes, but we're burning up whatever knowledge it's gained when we incinerate it. I don't believe in magic just yet. Cool. We have taken to calling it Whiskers. This is Whiskers. I guess that's a close-up of the ball that we saw. Though of course some have interpreted it as hair or needles or quills, but Whiskers is more accurate, as the needles are really more like suprasensory follicles or spines. The nerve nets distributed throughout the morphology of these spines resemble those genus Hydra. Honk! Hi, Bubblegum Addict. Welcome in, how are you doing? But have myelin sheaths that are functionally the same as vertebrate. As we can see in the X-ray, each spine is lightened with dense optical arrangements similar to compound eyes. The Hydra connection is assuredly worth investigating with regard to the organism's capacity for regeneration and anecdotal deathlessness. It certain is a robust enough creature to inspire marvel that is not untinged with fear. Cool. Okay. Exposure to mammalian forms, part of a series of zoomorphic influences, led to further understanding of the propagation's ability to simulate the somatic stem cells that constitute fully developed animals. I write simulate in the previous statement because examining the tissue of each propagation leads me to believe its amazing capacity for accelerated growth of vastly different forms comes from its cell-level mutability. I'm just popping in since I haven't done so in a while. It's appreciated. I hope you're doing well. And yet, at no time does it function as the thing it becomes, except in the sense that it mimics it. That is to say, when Whiskers is removed from dormancy and replicates a rabbit's morphology, it is not seeing from the rabbit's eyes, nor spelling from the rabbit's nose, but pretending that it does, and doing a very good job of it. That's horrifying. This radiograph was taken at or around growth cycle 4. The strange thing about it was that the subject of the image was found nowhere near the enclosure. It's almost like a piece of Whiskers fell off and scurried into the corner. I feel like we've learned a lot since then, but at the time I remember speaking about the morphology being weird, not really even resembling any extent to zoomorphic structure, besides maybe a cuttlefish. Then I happened to open the thing up. Inside were all these little dead amoeba-like things, but they all sort of looked like they had faces that were just barely there. After I took the radiograph, I gathered it up and went to go through it in the biohazard bin. As I walked by the bars of the enclosure, I could hear Whiskers suddenly going wild, flopping around and grunting excitedly. Could it have smelled the cuttlefish thing? Would it eat its own production? I guess it's technically flesh. This is beyond the scope of the project, but it could be that, without the stimulus of an active brain, or more specifically, a healthy and active brain capable of face recognition and theory of mind, Whiskers begins to pull whatever it can from the limited data available to it. Again, this is not our focus at this time, but I left a note for Dr. Hart, just in case he wanted to take a look. Okay. And we're back. Alright. Go for documents. I think we read all of these. Oh, we didn't get the first one. For the sake of universe in the health feature, non-disclosure contact, do not break the alphabet without any proper, wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Vocabulary card, hello. Acquisition note, we read that. Radiographs, paper doll. We looked at that. Okay. Now it's time to search the file cabinet. We are just growing. To be fair, we're growing. Adrian is the girl that's in this story, and we're growing her grandpa. She's growing her own grandpa. Yoink. Read down. It was said to pass from one family of steppe people to another, but pressed on its ultimate origin, illegible, somewhere to the south, coiled in a bowl covered in incantations, buried upside down by a graveyard. Cool. The keeper, an elderly man in failing health, was ready to expound on and on. That was so scary. That was so scary. Why would you do that to me? Expound on and on about the dangers of the organism, but when I asked more pointed questions about the history of its acquisition, I was given curt responses that had a way of circling back to vague warnings. Was it super loud? Hold on, I'm gonna turn OBS down. I know it's always super loud for me, but I can never tell if it's too loud on stream. Oopsies. Yeah, okay. What's this? Cashews. Grandpa will like that. Okay, cabinet 2. We're just collecting all the stuff that's lying around. And then we're gonna feed Grandpa and we're gonna teach him some words. Oh, we can teach him Grandpa. That's gonna be what we do. I did this? No, I didn't. What are these things I'm picking up on the side? Is it a false bottom? You removed the taped down fabric to feel the cabinet's wooden bottom. Oh, there is stuff. What's this? Cleanup procedures. To my colleagues, I don't mean to be overly severe in the tone, but Dr. Hart's work is very important, and the material we're working with is potentially very dangerous. Collect my pages. Slenderman. I will be handing out a copy of this note as a reminder. I don't want to read that. I don't care. The active growth must be thoroughly terminated via the correct procedures at the very least 4 weeks after dormancy is interrupted. It doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done regarding tests and procedures or how much the anthropoidic vacuum has been disrupted. We are not ready to go beyond 4 weeks. Step-by-step guide determination has been posted by the enclosure wall. Please, 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 please do not place educational posters over this posting. Do not disrupt the anthropoidic vacuum without Dr. Hart's prior consultation and approval. If the vacuum's been disrupted, put on your equipment and begin lockdown procedure. Make a note on how and when it occurred. If you found the habitat empty, page Dr. Hart immediately, but do not attempt to speak with anyone else. This thing can get very smart. I'm sure you're all well aware from the stories we heard on our acquisition trip. The greatest caution should be used when dealing with a potential aggressive mimicry scenario. Please seek me out if you have more questions, William. Biohazard bin. Exoskeletons. Oh, I didn't read that. That's fine. We don't need to know everything. Alright, we're gonna make food for Grandpa. We're gonna fucking search shit. Banana. What's this? Lettuce. Prepare food. A soft food or a vegetable. Banana. And a battery. The battery is concealed in the browning banana. Chill. That's gonna be so yummy for him. He's gonna love that. Observe Grandpa. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems sort of sluggish and bored. You get the feeling it may be more content and readily cooperative once fed and taught a word or two. Okay. Let's teach Grandpa first. Let's teach him. We're gonna teach him hello. Would you like to view the tutorial before you start? No. I don't want to learn. I want to do it just off the top of my head. Oh, hi. Whoa, what? Hold down right mouse button if you wish. Here. Am I doing this right? What is happening? Oh. Oh, I get it. I get it. We're teaching him. Deep within Grandpa, strange membranes phonate confidently. That's... Whoa. Settle down. That's not how you say it. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of the vocabulary module card and the notes there written by administrators of the past. Hello, part of vocabulary and vocalization model A2. General pronunciation comments, sloppy articulation. Module comments. We are already encountering some difficulty as Whisker's subjectivity is so much determined by a diverse and dynamic array of influences. It attempts to mimic the thoughts and desires it passively intercepts, and these imitations go on to structure the basis of its identity. Only later in Whisker's growth cycle does it begin to form an identity or identities that are coherent and capable of resembling a sane, rational human being when engaged in conversation. One must imagine how hard it would be to converse with someone who is not yet oriented in one particular way towards who or how they are, because they might have 20 different honest answers to those questions. Because of this, we may have started with the basics of conversation: greetings, partings, identifying one another, questions, etc. It is fortunate Whisker's current growth, 19 I believe, has developed a mostly accurate human mouth stimulation. Hello was a bit of a challenge in the previous growth as it had failed to develop an adequate organ to act as a human tongue. Chat, looks like an ad is going to start soon. I appreciate you so much. I apologize about it, but it does turn off automatic ads for the next hour. You step away from the bars and store the module card at the document table. Alright, let's go to Grandpa. Let's feed him now. No, I'm sure I can feed Grandpa. You approach the small window set in the jail. Click on Grandpa's nostrils, left his mouth with a handful of food. Concealed battery. Click on left. Am I? What is happening? Where's his nostril? Oh, there we go. Enjoy, Grandpa. Although quickly consumed, the meal seems to be causing some indigestion. And with a sudden lurch, Grandpa empties its stomach onto the floor. The contents pull together in front of the cage. I'm sorry, Grandpa. But I got you. You're gonna like this one. Where? I don't know. Oh, there we go. Grandpa likes blueberries. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Cool, good talk. Slides back into the corner. We fed Grandpa. Heck yeah. I fed him, technically. Oh, we have to feed him a second time. A good food a second time. Lettuce. He doesn't like lettuce. Not a lettuce guy, I get it. He went towards his favorite corner. Okay, now we have to teach him. Alright, we're gonna teach him Grandpa. You approach the small window. Okay. We got him. We're locked in. Yeah. He was good at that one. Good job, Grandpa. Good job. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of the thingy. Is any of this relevant? Welcome back from Ads Gamers. Yeah, so he doesn't really understand what that means. Yeah, no, okay. It's more of what we already know, which is that, that whatever Grandpa is, he takes from the memories of people. And, like, but he doesn't, like, know it himself. He's just mimicking the memories. At least for now, that's what that is. I guess let's try to converse with him. Grandpa accedes to your request. It approaches the bars and begins to unknit its skin. Great. The inner Grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it if it can respond. Oh, what is that? Alright, ask about wish. Ooh. With a great deal of effort, Grandpa gurgles fragmented thoughts through its ill-formed lips. Mother, will, father. New lives out of the air. New lives out of the air. The dark spiny filaments that make up the majority of Grandpa's body begin to oscillate rapidly. The air behind your eyes. I can taste it. Great. Ask about his shell. With a great deal of effort, Grandpa gurgles fragmented thoughts through its ill-formed lips. Skin. My body. All human skin around me. Give more. Grow more. To fit. Great. Biohazard bin. With a great deal of effort. Oh, yeah, that's just the same. However, it fails to produce more than a wet and frustrated sputtering noise. I think he's done talking. Bye, Grandpa. Examine the stomach on a key. Wait, hold up. Where was it? It was cabinet. It was bottom drawer. We opened it. A picture. A photo of your mother as a young woman. The recognition of this face kicks off a cascade of emotion and meaning deep within your psyche. Cool. Oh, is that it? Okay, we can't grab any of the other stuff. Which is fine. That's fine. Alright, there's nothing else to do. We can end the week. End the week. Wait, we're gonna save. And then we're gonna end the week. Weekly summary. Food acquired. Yup, that's the food we acquired. Yep, that sounds alright. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa. Language. Alright. Week 3. Mrs. Richards approached me the other day in order to remark on Adrian's development. She noted how much more at ease she appeared when called upon in class, or when asked to participate in group exercises. I told her I had seen this change happening as well, and that as much as I would like to take credit for it, I can only guess dimly at what might be reshaping her attitude. Miss Richards posited? I guess that's hypothesized that it was perhaps Adrian's family moving into their grandfather's property that caused the change. It apparently is out in the country, in a wooded area, full of wide open space and far from the bustle and noise of the city. The grandfather, Dr. Jacob Hart, had jointly purchased the land with the university he was employed with and began constructing what he was intending to be a satellite campus for a burgeoning psychological anthropology program he had a hand in establishing. Only one building ever ended up being constructed after Dr. Hart died in a car accident. Wow. When driving back from property one day. Eerily, at almost at the exact same time, a grad student who was assisting Dr. Hart on some sort of project at the property vanished without a trace. Bro was eaten. The property sat in disuse for years as it was tied up in legal battles between Dr. Hart's next of kin, the university, the vanished grad student's family, and the other students Dr. Hart was working with. Eventually, the case was settled out in court. Only recently did the property fall into the possession of Adrian's mother. Obviously, I was not going to relay this whole tragic story to Adrian, who, for all I know, believes her grandpa to still be living in the basement of his home. Besides, I thought she might already know all of this. Perhaps the elaborate story she was constructing was her own way of escaping the morbid details of a life, or perhaps lives, cut short by the cruel force of fate and the cynical adults who squabbled in the aftermath. I determined perhaps the storytelling she was and continues to engage in should not be encouraged by me, At least not in the way I went about it before, where I made active inquiries into her strange fantasy of a semi-sentient ball of skin. When I saw Adrian, I did not bring up her grandpa or ask questions about his growth. Adrian could not stop talking about it, however. I had no choice but to weather her bizarre and enthusiastic effusions about her new best friend. Adrian, maybe we can talk about something else. I'm not sure I'm following you exactly. He's gotten so big. He has so many whiskers that come out and I can see them move around when I think about him. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm so happy Grandpa's back. He's so much cooler than Mom and Dad. Once again, for what it's worth, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Adrian once again told me about growing her grandpa. Great. Love to hear it. Everything's gone. Yep, okay. Bulbous growth. Pulsating sac grows in the corner. Okay. More trash. Before we visit Grandpa. What's that? That looks like an ear. It's a kiwi. I can hide something in that, I think. Still too dark for that corner. Cabinet. I feel like a maid. Alright, nothing in there. Top drawer. The doll drawer. You know, just your typical doll drawer. Bottom drawer. Anything new? Nope. Okay. More triage. Search painting. No, nothing new on the painting. Examine. Nope. Alright, trash. What's this? Ooh. Life. We're gonna teach him about life. We're gonna give him an existential crisis. What am I? Potato. Okay, so what is it not? Does it just... wait, what? Now I'm confused. Is this corner not clean? There we go. Now it's clean. Weird. One more trash pile. There's another one? Yet another pulsating sac grows in this corner of the basement. Seems like it could easily be opened with a sharp edge. I don't have a sharp edge. Wait. No, that doesn't count. Okay. So we need like a knife. Note. Indecision. Alright. We're gonna teach him about indecision. What's the last bit? Whatever. Okay. Grandpa. Hello. Let's go to Grandpa. Observe. You examine Grandpa. Grandpa's gums are bleeding slightly, and its skin seems overly dry. It may need a food packed with vitamin C. A kiwi fruit would be an excellent remedy. Okay. I can feed him the kiwi. There you go. You eat that kiwi, Grandpa. No more food. You get food later. Study corner. This doesn't like, there's not like more things appearing, right? No. Okay. Look clean. Ooh, okay. This is like the receipt drawer. Clean. File cabinet 1. Any secrets in here that I can have? Me, the 6 to, I would say, 12-year-old child? No. Examine education. I didn't look at any of these. What's this? Disposal. Yeah, read it now. The researcher will seal off the enclosure bars, ensuring minimal gas leakage during the later fumigating process, and then retrieve the burn barrel and place it near the enclosure. Allow at least 48 hours of time where the current I'm not going to need any of this. I'm not killing Grandpa. Do not enter the enclosure area nor any part of the basement. Ideally, you will not be on the grounds at all. After 48 hours, 2 researchers will enter the basement wearing their assigned mirror mask, mirror apron, and powered air purifying respirators. The researcher will use the vent system to fumigate the enclosure area. Wait 30 minutes and then use the fan system. Keep the fans running during steps 3 through. Okay. Re-enter. The organism may or may not be in complete dormancy. If it is not in full dormancy, be assured that its capacity to act against you will be greatly diminished. With power drills, remove any enclosure bars needed. Put them aside. Put the organism into the burn barrel, incinerate the organism. Wait for any smoke to be properly cleared by the fans. Turn off the fans. 1 researcher will retrieve the nucleus from the ash and place it in the mirror box. The other researcher will sift through the ash and place any other substantial remains in the biohazard bin in the room outside of the enclosure area. The bin is locked for safety purposes. The code is 323245. It's outside of the enclosure. 323245. 323223. Whoa. 323245. Where is it? Where's the where is it? Okay, well, whatever. Kitchen. Search lower. What's this? Strawberry. Search upper. What's this? A pear. Prepare food. Potato. Fiberglass. Conceal. Cool. Good talk. Let's feed Grandpa. Anything in your stomach? Nope. Wait, let's communicate with him. Hey, Grandpa. Oh, he's growing. Look at him. Let's ask him a language. Grandpa still struggles somewhat to speak due to its underdeveloped tongue, mouth, and jaw. However, it manages to rasp out an answer. Grandpa's old. My lives were easier before I made myself to speak, and before you made clothes to wear and rules to obey. Your grandpa remembers. I've learned much in many lives and deaths. Keep speaking with me. I love talking with you and learning from you, and it helps your grandpa. Soon I will be everything you would like me to be. That's normal. Alright, we'll go through all these again. Ask about wish. Hunger is not enough. On the walls of the cave, the Auroch can be hunger transformed. Desire is fulfilled by pain. Your grandpa doesn't have the right words right now. I can only say, I love you. Aww. Love is not enough, though. Desire is not enough. Project it outwards. Make it true to yourself. If only in symbol, then it will be enough. For me and for you. Cool. Grandpa's shell. Something to grow in. My skin is not the doll's skin. My skin is not like your skin either. I can still feel your eyes on me inside my shell. I have many eyes to see, but I don't need them as much as I need your eyes, with which I can understand as seeing me. There is a cycle of attention. You give me myself, but I'm still not that. Slowly I form a human shape, and you see me more as human, and I become that. Interesting. Biohazard bin. Can you say anything about it this time? They keep putting me in a box, sleeping and then set a light, and then in a box in the corner, in the darkness. Most of you couldn't read then. The scribe came and wrote what everyone said. They wrote on strips of bark with thin reeds. No, it was not that. It was a paper posted somewhere. It had words to open the box. I was half dead in the box. The part of me that dies was put there for a long time. That part of me and other things they threw in. Refuse pile. Papers they discarded. Crazy shit. Okay. Bye, Grandpa. Alright, let's feed you. You hungry? You want insulation? Yeah, you want insulation. Don't worry about it. He threw up. Okay. Sorry. Let's give you cashews. You want cashews? Okay. What about a pear? You like pears? Nope. What about a strawberry? Okay. We'll give him a strawberry. It was a sufficient meal. Cool. Did he give us anything new? Excuse me. Oh, scissors. Shh. Grandpa, I gotta go. Grandpa. I have a job. You carefully make an incision into the growth with your scissors. It's now possible to take a look inside. I don't want to. In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot arises. Oh yeah, these are the little ambiotes or whatever. However, you just barely hear the near silent slithering of something, or maybe it was just your imagination. No. Stop this. I hate this. Ew. This is so yucky. Ew. They do have faces. Why do they have faces? Gross. No, I don't want that. Anthropoid Remnant 1. A self-sufficient animal form knit together from years of ambient thoughts. Left to crawl around the basement, Grandpa may enjoy the flesh. Great. Thanks, Grandpa. There's a second one. There's a second one over here. Yep. Yep. Yep, that's... Yep. Yep. Lovely. Gross. Oh, there it is. Yoink. Self-sufficient animal. Blah, blah, blah. Let's finish cleaning because we're normal. Ew, is that like one big one? Gross. Okay. Back to Grandpa. Yeah, I guess we can fucking... It said not to feed him meat, but if it makes Grandpa happy... Okay, wait, I want to communicate, little friends. Open up. Yep, hey. Little friends. The little ones, they grew like seeds off my skin, worms fall off my body. Thoughts falling off of me, dreams put there by others. When I was under the ground, I made only very few. Shepherds walked through the grave and I saw them lusting for their wives, and my skin made their loving faces. I called them out into the darkness with their loved voices. One by one I took their shapes and their skin and blood. That was a time ago, before stone buildings, before the orders of angels and words and symbols. I'm sorry, Grandpa's thinking, but there's a little too left over from others too. I'm still so hungry for flesh. Part of me is. I would even eat one of them that fell off me. I can't help it. They grow off of me. They fall off and grow in the dark, grow around me. Okay, so he's talking about it like he doesn't want to, so we're not gonna give him any. That's gonna be a very last resort for us. We're gonna give him the pear. Chill. I think the pear's better in the long run. Alright, now we're gonna teach him stuff. Let's teach you life. Hey, Gramps. Let's see. Yeah, that was pretty close. That was pretty good. Is any of this relevant? At week 3, Whiskers appeared to recall some information from a previous growth cycle. We cannot be sure that this was really the case. For all we know, what we interpreted as it recollecting this information was really it drawing semantic content from one of our recollections. For the sake of our safety and for the sake of scientific inquiry, we are attempting to draw out from Whiskers whether it somehow retains knowledge from previous cycles. We did not think it was possible. Yeah, so they're trying to ask if it has ever died and if it remembers. Well, clearly it remembers, because right, we're the little kid. We've never seen this thing before, so clearly it remembers, and it's not drawing off of our memories. Cool. Okay, go to Grandpa. We have one more thing to teach him. Indecision. Indecision's a big word. La la la. Oops. Okay. Let's see. He got that was like spot on. I'm so proud of you. Okay, so they're introducing the latest growth of Whiskers to more subtle social cues, testing its ability to judge mental states. Yeah, okay, chill. In order to hunt sapient beings, it must be able to deceive them. In order to deceive, it must be able to make certain metacognitive judgments. For example, if their deception appears to be working, or how one ought to be deceived. We may never see it develop a theory of mind anytime soon, as Dr. Hart has disallowed a cycle of Whiskers growth to live into the beginnings of maturity. Step away. Cool, well, oh, wait, I didn't look. No, I did, that was the scissors. Yeah, okay, bye, Grandpa. Wait, no, we have to save. Alright, bye, Grandpa. Bye, Grandpa. Sorry, just 1 second, gamers. Just want to check something really quick. Okay, no, I'm good. We're good. We're chill. Okay. Week 4. Alright, hold on, let me take a sip of something. My poor throat. Okay. The time I have to spend compiling an evaluation on Adrian is almost up, and I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is of course the case that children of Adrian's age are nowhere near finished learning and growing. I may have to simply be happy that Adrian was able to improve her attitude. However, something in the odd and occasionally grotesque stories she continues to bring up still strike me as meaningful. How's your week been, Adrian? Grandpa is almost ready. He's almost finished, sort of. Huh. He's almost as big as his shell now. He has a face, and he can talk pretty well, and almost has legs. I see. As before, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Once again, Adrian told me about growing her grandpa. Let's fucking go. Any changes here? Nah. Can I do anything with this? Mom? Oh shit. Tangible symbol of attention and desire. Cool. Okay. Chill. Examine is trash. Peer into the opening, incinerate, and many, yeah. Yeah, this is just more of the thingy. Of the, like, anthropoid. Which we're not even using, because I refuse to... I want to see what happens if we don't give him any. Oh good, there's nothing in here to grab. Good, good. Now it's time to clean up. Oh, what's that? Bread? A bar of soap. Okay. Understood. I'll clean. Okay. This is still too dark. Yeah, I can't go there. I'm not going in there yet. Cabinet. Examine. Cabinet. When can I have a flashlight? Meaning. Ooh. Grandpa's gonna love that. Perfect. All clean. Top drawer. Hi Hatsune Miku, welcome in. How you doing? Alright. Boop. Bottom drawer. A thing. Wait, there's another bulbous growth here. Weird. They're growing a lot now. Like, they're spreading really far. What would happen if we never cut into any of them? Would they, like, hatch? I'm so confused. I want to know more. This would make a crazy short horror movie. You're good? I'm so glad to hear. Alright, that's all of that. Trash. Painting, anything in the painting? No. Trash pile. Ooh. What are you? Bread! Grandpa's gonna love that. Alright, last trash pile. No, we're gonna clean it anyway. Because I'm here, I already opened it, but there's not gonna be anything in here. Where's the... Okay, whatever. Oh, bump. Trash pile. And then we can finally go see Grandpa. A letter. Or a word. Symbol. Ooh. What's this? mushroom. Grandpa might like that. Is that considered meat? Probably not. Alright, let's go see Grandpa. How's he doing today? How much bigger is he grown? Hey, Grandpa! Oh, he's bigger. Alright. Observe. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems fatigued and almost anemic. Some of its spines appear brittle. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like meat. Good thing for Grandpa that mushrooms are rich in iron. And cashews. Cashews are also rich. Yes. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna wait. We actually have to go check the kitchen. And he needs 3 foods, so. Kitchen. Apple. Lower fridge. Jackfruit. Ooh, oh hey, we collected all the foods. That's sick. Apple. Bar soap. Conceal. We need to see if he has anything else in his dietary tract. We'll clean up these cabinets really quick. Maybe we can find more words. I don't think so, but we might. Yeah, there's not gonna be anything here. Okay. Let's go back. Let's feed Grandpa. We're gonna give him the sucky one. Concealed soap. And then he's gonna flow up. I'm sorry, Grandpa. Okay, now let's feed him good stuff. Oh, he likes it. And the mushroom. So proud of you, Grandpa. Nice. Alright, so that's done. Now I have to teach him, but I want to check the stomach. Oh, ooh. Wait, this is important. It means we can go here. Okay, there's a bookshelf. A classic of alchemy. What would be in here? It's about devils. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. On the virtue of the prudent when dealing with devils, seen or unseen, the splendors and terrors of God's creations inhabit the world of both seen and unseen, and just as one will not grapple with a lion lest they be a fool, one will not approach a being of a mind or aether without foreknowledge thereof. There are beings with no form, hiding between towering columns of air, and only appearing by slipping into the heart or mind of evil and unclean men. But there are more beings which straddle the realm between the seen and unseen creatures, feeling through the air to see the heart or mind of men. It is only by God's grace and his angels and servants crushing these beings under heel that a magician might compel them to the magician's will, and so a magician must be perfectly clear and unerring in intent and ritual granted to us by God, or else the devils, seen or unseen, will devour them, that being their nature. On the nourishing of devils of a particular type. Certain devils of a particular nature are nourished by the element of fire, others by attention and prayer given to their idols, still others by stranger and more obscure means. By God's grace, the requirement for nourishing a devil as part of a contract only requires a token of these givings, that is, a symbol. If a devil hungers after flesh, and would strip a man to his bones in its devouring. The devil's hunger and nature, which thirsts for flesh, can be held in abeyance in the ritual act of giving blood in only a few drops. However, the contract must be completed in full, for if the magician errs and does not provide in the devil's instructions and guidance, the devil, once abjured to do no harm upon the magician, will return to its devouring nature. Cool, that sounded freaky. A simple paper doll. We don't have any more pictures, do we? Yeah, no, we don't have any more. So we can't do anything about that. What's in the waste bin? Oh, shit. Hold on. We have to go back to Grandpa. I don't remember it. It was like 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Mm, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Read. No. What about shell notes? Read. Nope. Termination procedure? Three, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. Three, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. The lid unlocks, and with some effort, you move the heavy lid off the bin. What's this? Photo of your father as a young man. Anything else? Nope, alright. Let's make another doll. Heck yeah. Alright, let's see here. Time to go back to Grandpa. We're gonna teach Grandpa some words, and then we're gonna give him the dolls. Oh, we're also gonna... No, we already checked it. Yeah, okay. Meaning... Oh, we're also gonna converse with him before we give him that stuff. Let's see. Oh, he got that pretty good. He was pretty good. We further delve into abstraction with Whiskers, partially, or perhaps for the most part, for the purpose of determining the origin of its recollections that precede its death. Dr. Hart has begun to theorize that in the process of death, the structure of Whiskers is compressed back into the morphylactic nucleus, and then later, upon re-establishing the nerve netting that is laced through its spines, is slowly reassembled and redeployed as needed. I do not think this is the case, for I can plainly see that for growth cycles in which Whiskers is not receiving our pronunciation and vocabulary lessons, that its capacity general for comprehending its environment is greatly diminished, and in the simulated conversations we carry out, Whiskers struggles greatly or else it does not participate. In any case, we will press on with our lessons. Yeah, cool. Next word to teach Grandpa is symbol. Nice. How does he say this one? Yeah, that was pretty good too. Pretty chill guy. There appears to be nothing written here. Or if it was thoroughly erased. Sick. Alright, let's converse. There's no response? Why not? Why don't you want to talk to me? Grandpapa? Why isn't he interested? Observe him. What's he doing? Do we feed him meat? I want to talk to him. Oh, I said I wouldn't, but I really want to talk to him. Okay. He's excited. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just one. Just one. You're offering a flesh through something within Grandpa. From within the folds of its body, a wiry, proboscis-like appendage begins to emerge. Maybe worth taking a look at this after the feeding. What did we get? Proboscis. Fuck it. Oh. Okay, it doesn't want it. Cool. Will you talk to me now? Please? Examine the proboscis. You motion to Grandpa to approach and point to the thin protuberance. Grandpa silently ambles closer towards the bar and fully extends it towards you. No thanks. A minuscule needle extends from its tip. There appears to be one more thing you must give, if only for the sake of propriety. Okay. Go ahead, Grandpa. Go ahead, Grandpa. Grandpa has appreciated your blood offering. It will receive a symbol or totem from you now, though only one per offering. As the blood-fed proboscis retracts into the folds of fabric, you step away. Okay, I want to talk to Grandpa. Please. Pretty please. The inner Grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. Oh, he's getting bigger. Wish. Grandpa loudly clears its throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. Ah, you're asking me about your wish? When you wished for me to come back, that's when I knew I would. Your desperation was strong, and your wish for your parents, well, if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You know I love you. I am for you, whatever you want, and I love you just as much as you love me. But desperation and love is not enough. People deep down know they can't get what they wish for without some transformation. There's something that sits at the root of everyone's soul that understands the separation between them and eternity. You may desire something, but you know you will not get it without some movement on your part. So it is not enough to just wish, which you know will not work. You must wish and a little more, to transform your intention into something that might fructify, or for desire to become reality. Great. Grandpa's shell. Ah, you're asking me about my shell. Oh, well, you see, I like to have something to grow in. Something shaped like a person. Just helps to have something surrounding me when I don't have skin. My whiskers do the growing. My whiskers? Yes, you know, the hairy things. I am part of it and is part of me. However, my whiskers are what heard you wishing for me to come back, and so they went to work in the shell you provided. The shell also helps you envision me as what you desire. You have such a nice imagination. If I weren't in my shell, you'd have my whiskers exposed and knitting together my face. That might interrupt the feedback loop of my reading your desires, and then acting upon the desires I've read, and then once again reading your reaction. We wouldn't want that interfered with. The material of the doll you put down is a good fit. It's not the most comfortable, but it's quite flexible, and thankfully my shell was able to adjust nicely to my growth. Cool. Biohazard bin. You're asking me about the medical waste bin? I believe it's locked up. Heard them punch it in the code many times as they placed part of burnt-up, dying self into the bin. Poor guy. They often forgot what the code was and had to go check on the wall where they were, always taping up sheets upon sheets of information. So much so that the new papers would cover the old. Well, perhaps something. They did throw trash inside from time to time, bits of paper and so forth. I remember seeing a man who looked quite like me. His daughter had given him a photo of her new boyfriend. He threw it in the bin in disgust and joked with one of his colleagues it may still be in there for all I know. Okay. Language. You're asking about language? Well, the more you taught me, the more I was able to learn myself by hearing what you were thinking and saying. A week ago, I could still speak a little bit, but I was less of what you imagined me to be, and not quite the talker I am at the moment. Part of what I'm saying is of course made up of what you expect me to say. I think I'm very comfortable being open and honest with you because I am your grandpa, and I love you. and certainly that makes up a part of what I am. However, there is a part of me deeper down, the thing that created me maybe, that undying nucleus, is answering for me as well and is unaffected by whoever might shape what I become with their thoughts. Great. Little friends. Well, yes, they come from me, they grow around me in pockets of flesh and protoplasm. Think of them like dreams, maybe. I'll explain. Have you ever had a dream that was sort of like a bunch of people, places, and events you experienced, all mixed together and jumbled up? It's a sorting through and disposing of the refuse of the mind. My little friends are like that. I refuse, and ridding myself of them, I'm casting off the excess material I did not use in developing life forms. Anyone who comes close to me, well, they are my eyes, my nose, my skin. Their thoughts become mine and shape what I make. However, when I was alone for so long, I didn't have a lot of people near me. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? And so, because I did not have enough input from my surroundings in order to put the material to use, the material falls off my body, crawls away, and usually dies. I'm able to make the most of my material when someone is looking right at me, projecting who I will be, like you are now. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? Proboscis. It's just a little tube I keep to help me feed on blood. You could say it is of my real mouth, but it's not really a mouth. Appears because you fed me flesh, one of those little friends you found, I think. You feeding me flesh was a symbol, a proposition, if you will, that you wanted to hold up your end of the bargain with regards to your wish. If someone is willing to hold up their end of the bargain and let me feed on them with my proboscis, then they can move on to the next step of the agreement, providing me symbolic instructions. I hope that helps clear things up. Oh, do you have another question? Do I like the blood? Well, my whiskers, I believe they like the blood and the flesh. It's strange. They are me, and yet they are now me. I am bound to them. They control me, and technically, yes, they did make me. However, you were the one who really grew me. In some ways, those whiskers, they are me. Or a part of myself, or I am a part of it. That part is much more animal-like. Whatever might happen, know that I will always love you, and because it controls me, I might not be able to act how I like, even if I do love you. Please don't destroy me, Grandpa. Yeah, no, I don't need it. Okay, we're gonna offer Mother. Grandpa's spines quickly reach out and envelop the doll before drawing back. The doll quickly vanishes within the folds of Grandpa's skin. Constricting and then offering your mother's image to Grandpa, symbolically sated by blood, instills you a concrete sense of completion. Grandpa gives a soft, affirming grunt as it senses deep within your mind the ritual transformation of your desire. Although Grandpa must receive both a mother and father totem before the fulfillment of your wish is assured. Ooh, do we have enough time? Do we have another week to go? Interesting. Week 5. Guess we do. Who could that be? Come in. Ah, Adrian. Good to see you. Aren't you a little early? No matter. I suppose I have some time. How have you been? How's your grandpa? That's why I wanted to talk to you. Something happened. Oh, what happened? Nothing bad, I hope. No, nothing bad. Just different, I think. Maybe even good. Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, last night, something woke me up. There was this noise at first. It was like it came from the walls. I could hear it from my bedroom, but there was something else. Something calling. I could hear it, just barely. I was afraid Grandpa hurt himself. I had to go find out. I went downstairs, and the vent, the place where I first found Grandpa, or what I grew him with, it was open. Do you remember how I told you about the vent in the ceiling behind the bars? I was thinking he had climbed up into it. He had gotten so big. Could have done that. Maybe he had gotten trapped somehow in the vent. I had to go see. I don't think we should go in the vent. He's gonna eat us. I got inside. I heard the calling again, more clearly this time. Grandpa was definitely in the vent somewhere. This is a horrible idea, you're so right. I could feel him hearing my thoughts. I got that weird feeling, a sense in the air. I had to go forward. You don't. This is so Five Nights at Freddy's. Ooh, whoa, As I moved in closer, the vent had stuff in it. The kind of slimy, hairy stuff Grandpa would leave around a lot.
Freddy, you're supposed to be on lockdown.
Vanessa, I am Speed. 1 winner, 42 losers. I eat losers for breakfast.
I eat losers for breakfast. I don't like the grandpa sounds. He was definitely close. Something was there at the end. But it wasn't Grandpa. It looked maybe like he had made it, though. Why are we going closer? No. It was slumped in the corner, had a weird mouth, and it had its lungs on the outside, and drew in just enough air to call out. And then it just stopped. Stopped breathing. And then something was hanging over me. No. Grandpa, don't do it. And then I woke up in my bed. Oh, okay. In your bed? Adrian, it sounded like it was quite a dreadful dream. Are you alright, by the way? Your face is twitching, like you're about to have a violent sneeze. We're infected. I'm fine, it's just Grandpa, you see. It took me a little while to figure it out, but later, when I was brushing my teeth, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking out, just out of the space under my eye. And I started to remember how in the vent he hid inside of me. Stop. It was so fast I could barely remember, but soon I started to feel him sliding around in my head, behind my forehead and behind my eyes and nose. It doesn't hurt at all, it's just ticklish. I'm glad I can be with him. Oh, I can feel him now. Stop. I think he wants to meet you. Part of him is moving down my arm. Stop. I'm starting to get worried, Adrian. You really should not be twitching like this. I should walk you to the nurse's office. Come on, let's go. You should really meet him. I've told you so much about him. Here. No, stop it. What are you doing, Adrian? You're starting to look very ill. Please just wait. Just stay still. He's gathering, waiting at my fingertips. No. Why do you look like that? You don't have to be afraid. Look. Ugh. So what? Did I die? There are 2 endings of Going My Grandpa. I got the failure ending. I got the failure ending, guys. That's so unfair. I don't want the failure ending. Alright, well, it's late, and I want to play Overwatch, so... So I'm gonna say that that's it for tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna come back on stream to get the last ending. We'll have to play through the whole thing again, because the last time I saved was at the second to last week, and the last week is when we get got by Grandpa. So I'll have to restart it completely to do the ritual to get the other ending. So I'll probably make another stream out of it. I don't know when my next stream's gonna be. I really want to try and stream this weekend because I do have well, not a lot, but I have some commission work that I really need to get done, like really bad. So I want to do that, and if I'm doing it anyway, I might as well stream. Anyway, I start work on Monday, and it's full time, and it's really early in the morning, so I might be able to do streams at night, but I'm not actually too sure. We're gonna snooze ads for now. I'm not actually too sure when I'll be able to stream, so I don't think I'm gonna come out with a schedule for this week. I think we're just gonna wing it, but I'll post that on the socials and on the stories and on all that stuff. So don't worry about it. Let's see. Who are you? Who is this? Melly's doing peak. Wait, who's this? Sorry, I'm trying to find someone for us to raid. Aww. Oh shit, aww. I like this PNG tuber a lot. I like it a lot. I really like this PNG tuber. We're gonna raid Peebs, who is playing Celeste. The game. It's Celeste the game. Anyway, we're gonna raid Peebs. Please stick around for the raid. I appreciate it so much. This is our raid message. The star emotes are available to subscribers, and the hand heart emotes are available to everyone. It's a global emote. You can also use your own emotes. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you again for Mouse and for Bits for the raids tonight. That was so cool and so fun. I've been posting the VODs and I've been posting clips on YouTube again. It's just string_of_rune on YouTube. And I've also been posting clips on TikTok under the same username. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time. I love you guys. Bye. Bye, gamers.
Gregory, do you see a small vent on the floor? Have you ever heard of Among Us, Gregory? You need to vent. I know it will be hard. You need sus. But I know you can do it, Gregory.